Welcome to the Widgets tutorial for Wizards Toolkit. Widgets play a crucial role in providing real-time visual representations of essential company data tailored to the unique needs of different staff roles and departments. With the Wizards Toolkit, creating and managing these widgets is a breeze, allowing for seamless customization and efficient problem resolution. In this video, we'll explore the straightforward process of creating and assigning widgets, as well as setting up multiple widget dashboards based on staff roles and security levels. Additionally, we'll delve into the functionality of the back office management, widget creation, data review, and demos, all of which come standard in Wizards Toolkit, a low-code development library for PHP and SQL. Widgets use SQL and are presented as counters, charts, or lists. Clicking on a widget can take a person directly to the necessary page to review or resolve the associated problem. Each individual is able to customize their widget dashboard. This makes navigation and problem resolution easier and more tailored to individual needs. Plus, we will show how to add code to provide switching between widget dashboards and even add new color options for widget counters. This is the Wizards Toolkit back office. Wizard Toolkit comes with a website built in for you to be able to manage your database and general website infrastructure. So these are the widgets, and here you can add as many widgets as you want. They're basically simple SQL statements. That one's extremely simple. The activity for 30 days is actually more complicated, so we built a stored procedure that will do this for you. You pass in the number of days and it gives you the activity. In fact, let's look at what one of these looks like. So for the activity, this is the activity 7 days. It shows number of users logged in, data updates, reports viewed, and page views. And that was easier to do in a stored procedure. Now, in the widget, you define the name, which you can see shows up as a title. And then the security level, only people with that security level or higher are able to see and choose these widgets. You can, of course, assign as many security levels as you like. That's all data-driven. In fact, it's all data-driven right here. So you can see that these are the current security levels, which you can change and add as many as you like. Back to the widget. And then you have what widget type, chart, count, link, and list are the different types. And if we look at that here, these are lists. These are charts, which have mouse over capability. And these are counts. I'll show you the link later, but basically it's just a title and links to a page in case the client wants to use the widget dashboard as a way of linking to other pages. You can choose to skip footer. If you do that, then it doesn't have the navigation. And most of the time on a widget, you don't want page navigation, so you want to skip footer. But if you did want page navigation, you could not check this or uncheck it, and then it would allow page navigation so they could go to multiple pages. A link to page, this allows you to say, let's jump to a page when you click on the widget. And if you click this checkbox, then it will open that link in a modal window. If you allow them to save data on that modal window, it will, when they hit the save button, automatically refresh just that one widget. Here's an example of a widget with a modal window. This is in the demo folder in your Wizards Toolkit environment. So here we have a link to page, demo, widget modal. You don't have to put the .php, that's assumed. We've checked the use modal window. We have skip footer, and here's the SQL. If we look at it on the actual widget, this is what it says. Modal save demo. This demonstrates blah, blah, blah. And here's the data, which you can see. Here's the name, here's the description, and there's where the data is coming from. And if you click on it, it opens up a modal window. We can choose a state, that's a drop list. Hit save and watch right here, and there it is updated. It only updated this one widget, it did not update the whole page. Let's look at the code. Here in the code, at the top we're setting the security level. This way only people with the security level or higher are allowed to see the page. I've added some comments there. Here's the magic. Here is the select statement that's pulling the data. The form must also have the F widget refresh. Right there is your form ID. This is the select statement that makes the state drop list. There it's calling in the address and city and state and zip code. Dashboard says don't redirect to another PHP page. And that's everything. Onward. The description shows up here for the list type widgets and shows up as the tooltip for the counter type widgets. And then the widget SQL. Here's an error log 1. Again, you see it's just simple SQL. This SQL is a little bit more complicated, but it's all just SQL. So if you have any developers that know SQL, they can make as many widgets as you like. This database is MySQL, but PostgreSQL works just as well with Wizard's Toolkit, and I expect it would work with Microsoft SQL. It did for a previous client many years ago. You'll notice there's a save and copy. So if I wanted to change this for any reason and say, hey, I want to keep the last 10 users widget, but I want another version, I can make this the last 5 users, and it just copied that by just clicking the save and copy, and now we have a last 5 users as well as the last 10 users. Okay, let's look more at chart widgets. Currently there's no link to page, so if we click here, it doesn't go anywhere. Of course, the hovering capability still works. I want to put in money stats, which is one of the web pages that comes with Wizard's Toolkit. And let's look at the different types of charts. We got area, bar, line, or pie. Let's change this to a bar chart, just see what it looks like. Now if we go to a different tab and then come back, now the daily income is a bar chart with mouse over. See that 23% of the income in the last week was on April 9th, Tuesday. Right? And if we click on it now, it jumps to the money stats page. I'm going to hit the back, and I changed this to go to the revenue list page. So if you click on that, it jumps over here, which means this is a viable method of navigation through the website. Now, just for fun, let's look at in an area. Area looks just like a line, except it has shading underneath. If you had multiple lines, then it would have different colors of shading. And if we go back and we change it to a pie chart, it really won't make sense. You have to choose what type of chart makes the most sense depending on your data. And now it does show, hey, on Tuesday, now you had a better representation of the 23%. But most people aren't going to want it that way. They'll want it like a line or a bar chart or area. Now let's go to widget groups. Widgets are great, but one set of widgets will not be perfect for all employees. A client is often going to want to split up your widgets or group your widgets based on department or security level. So we have widget groups. So I created management and several other groups as an example. Now you can choose them by staff role or department, as well as by security level. If you have it checked as used for personal dashboard default, then what that does is the first time an employee logs into the website and goes to the dashboard that has widgets, it's going to say, is there a widget group that matches that employee's staff role? If so, copy that widget group to that employee, and then they can edit it and modify it to their heart's content. If there isn't, then look to see if there's any that are set for the same security level as that employee, and if there is, then copy it to that employee. And this all goes into the widget data, and these are all stored in these three tables: the widget table, the widget group table, and the widget group by widget table. And this has the widget group UID, the user UID if there is a user assigned to it, and the widget UID, plus the widget priority. For example, we have my dashboard, and the my dashboard is actually editable. Here I can change the widgets, whereas with the other dashboards, they're not. We got back office, we got management, we got marketing, and we got quality control. I mentioned earlier that you can have a widget which is just a link. So let's say that the client says, you know what, we really need the quality assurance department to be able to see the pet list. Okay, we're going to make this a simple link. Not modal, see the pets. So then on the widget group, currently have quality control. And here are the 4 widgets in that group. So if we go over here, we see login history, page view history, last 10, and reports viewed. These are the widgets. So if the boss says, let's add pet list, we just do like that. We add the pet list. And then let's also reorder these a little bit. Let's make the page view history the first one, and then the last 10 users the second one. Now the next time anybody goes to the quality control, they're going to see it in this new order: page view, last 10, login history, reports viewed, and the pet list. And there you see the description is the tooltip. I click on that and it jumps us to the pet list. So now you see how easy it is to reorder and design what you want in your widgets. You can add as many different widgets as you want to each grouping. You can say, no, we really actually don't want that one there. And you leave the personal one without any, because this one will have the widgets copied into it that is appropriate for that person based on their staff role and their security level. So this is really just a holding space for the personal group. We go to the personal. Here we can say, let's change this. This allows the individual user to change the order of things to whatever they find best for their personal needs. They can also add additional ones within their security list. So if I want to add pet list, I could do that. Then I say close and refresh, go back to the dashboard, and there's my pet list. And now revenue this month is on the far left, and everything is exactly as I want it. It's a low-code environment that makes everything very intuitive, so you can make changes on the fly, and everything is data-driven. So you'll notice we have security level, widget type, and widget color. I'm going to show you how easy it is to change the widget color. Now, first off, only the count shows the widget color. If I switch to this, then it hides that because widget color is not applicable that's all handled by a little bit of JavaScript, which you can see easily in the code here, and you can modify that as you desire. The widget colors are like this, and if we look back at here, those are all handled in the WTK lookups data table. Chart type, widget type, security level, widget color, it's all fairly intuitive. So if you go here and you say, let's go to lookups, and we put in widget color, then it shows you these are the blue, green, orange, and purple, pink gradient. All right? And it shows you what the values are. The values are the actual CSS style names. So we go back here, and we're looking at blue gradient, that's info gradient. All right? And if we go look in here, in our WTK global.css, we have all the gradients for the widgets defined right here. Info gradient, warning gradient, danger gradient, success gradient. The beauty of low code is you have all access to all the source code. So if we wanted to make a red gradient that will be more red than the danger gradient, by the way, let's look at what these actually look like. Here is the 4 different gradients that we currently have. Blue, green, danger, purple, or orange and purple. All right, so if we wanted to change this and change the danger or make a new one, red gradient, we could do that, and we see that the current danger gradient starts with that. Well, that's not very danger looking. Let's make it more like this, and we'll change all of these to match that. Now let's see what these look like. So we'll make that a little more pink. Looks like I missed one. There we go. Now we have a new red gradient. So if we wanted to have that show up here, we would just go back to the lookups, and I like to do the save and copy, that way I don't have to retype hardly. Like this, red, red, boom. We're not using the Spanish lookup display, but that is a whole different topic regarding making your website have lookups in multiple languages. Red gradient, it now exists. Okay, but of course we'd have a caching problem, so I'm not going to just do it here. Well, we can go in here, we can say let's change the widget. We'll make the errors today, let's change this to red gradient. There we go. Now let me log out. Here's the global. Fix the caching issue. Log back in. Let's go to the dashboard. Now look, now our errors today is this beautiful red instead of the orange, which was not red enough. That's how easy adding a new style is, a new gradient style. You're probably wondering, yeah, it looks nice, but how easy is it to actually code instead of just using the back office? Well, I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is. This is multiple dashboards of widget groupings, and here's how it works. First off, all of the data for general information and lookups is included with the Wizards Toolkit. Your widget types, charts, prospectus, including country lookups, state lookups, etc. Widgets Toolkit comes with a set of demo files that are in the demo subfolder. Here they all are. You see there's a demo file for almost everything. We're going to look at the Widgets dashboard, which is this page right here. And when you first come in here, it creates this demo data so that you have something worthwhile to look at. Here's how it's doing it. It's doing insert widgets to give you all of your demo widgets. And it's setting them with a high widget group UID so that they're easy to purge or delete when you're done, so it doesn't mess up your database. And now for the really cool stuff. This is the HTML that generates everything. This widget div is what is filled with the widgets. These are the calls, Ajax fill div. Even the name is intuitive. It is calling the pages, and it always appends the .php to the end of these. So there's actually a widgets.php, you can see it right here, in the WTK folder. It's passing a parameter, or the group UID, and then it's saying which div to fill the result set with. And that div is right here. I titled these the same as your widget groups. Then down here it just has the JavaScript to purge demo data. It calls the Ajax fill div, so upon entering the page, it sets your initial up. By passing 1, it is saying fill this person's widgets if they don't have any defined yet, based on their staff role, and if there is no widget group for that staff role of that person, then fill it based on their security level. And then I create a little JavaScript function, purge demo data, which calls this page, passes a step purge, and then that wipes out the demo data. This is using materialized CSS, but of course you can switch to Bootstrap or any other HTML, JavaScript, CSS library that you prefer. There's also comments in all the demo pages so that you can see tips and tricks on how to make things even better for your specific needs. For instance, some clients say don't show a dashboard if the person's not a particular security level. Okay, so let's dive deeper into exactly how personal widget groups work. Your client is probably going to want multiple widget groups based on the staff role or security level, but every person will want their own set of widgets and to be able to modify how their widgets are set. That is done by passing a 1 as the second parameter to the widgets PHP file. If we look at the widgets PHP file, we see that the user UID, here's the second parameter, happens to be P. If it's a 1, then it assigns it to the person's user UID that is currently logged in. Person has to be logged in, so they have a user UID. So if somebody is logged in, then it checks to see if there are any widget group X widget rows associated with that user UID, and 1 for the personal. Here is the data for the widget group, and when you get Wizard's Toolkit, it always starts off with only the first 2, back office and personal. The back office widget group has all the DevOps widgets that you could want. The personal one is always empty because every person or user will get a separate set. The widget table has a UID, the name, security level, chart type, and these other columns. The widget cross-reference table has widget group UID, user UID, widget UID, and the priority. Speaking of the priority, these come with a trigger that is provided with Wizard's Toolkit. Here's the trigger definition. The Wizard's Toolkit database comes with these triggers already created. This makes tracking priority very easy. It's based on user UID and it increments by 10, which makes the ability to drag and drop things work seamlessly from the Wizard's Toolkit drag and drop JavaScript library. It automatically adjusts the widget priority or priority of whatever other data table you may have. Back to the widget PHP. So if there's no widgets in the personal group for this particular user, then it searches to see through the widget groups if there are any that match that user's staff role or security level. It uses this little SQL trick using a case in the order by so that it makes the staff role higher priority than the security level in regards to which should be the default. Of course, you have all the source code and you can change this any way you like. Once it finds a matching widget group for the user, it then inserts it, putting in the user's UID so that they end up with their own set of widgets, which they can then modify to their heart's content. By the way, this down here, third parameter, widget or WUID, this is how the modal save of a widget will only update that single widget. The makeWidgets function is defined in the same widgets.php, so it's easy access for you to see and modify for your own particular needs, but most likely this will already be exactly as you want it. Here's all the source code. You can see that it's pulling in the specifics regarding the widget SQL and color and everything from the widget table based on the widget group X widget table in the widget group table. It is fairly complicated, but it's all done. It's all working perfectly. You probably will never have to modify it, but it is available if you do want to make enhancements or modifications. Currently, the types of widgets are list, link, count, and chart, but you can always add additional widget types if you so please. If you're wondering, will the widgets look good on a phone? Yes, indeed they do. They look great on a phone because it's built with responsive design and everything works really nice. Looking at the exact same page, this is how it looks on a computer, and this is how it looks on the phone. The widget functionality comes standard in Wizard's Toolkit, the low-code development library for PHP and SQL. If you would like to have this as an ad hoc feature added to your pre-existing website, let us know in the comments below. By the way, we have a live demo on the web so you can see how fast the responsive Wizard's Toolkit is. Have a great day. Subscribe for more on the business of programming.